Hello, American Lit 2. So here we are. It is the final countdown in a week and a half. I'm recording this on Monday, May 3rd. So in a week and a half, you'll be wrapping up with your semester in American Lit 2. And the goal is to feel good when you click submit on your final assignment and start your break, however that break might look from spring semester. I just wanted to record a hopefully pretty brief explainer video going over the finals module and some of the things to keep in mind for the last leg of the course. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to look at the class together. Okay, so this is what the course should look like for you. I have everything closed except what's happening right now. So week 13 through 14, you're still finishing that up in terms of the analytical reflections that are due this Wednesday. You will notice that in the week 15 assignment, there are recommended readings and videos, kind of the YouTube playlist, but you do not have a reflection assignment this week. So please consider week 15 to be kind of a mini week where I do certainly hope that you still do the reading and watching and kind of get to that end point of this section of American literature, looking at creative nonfiction and the art of the essay and kind of modern literature. But you don't have a distinct assignment for those readings. But of course, they are fair game for your final essay. So we're going to look, I'm going to kind of build up to the final essay since that is your final exam. The two other assignments you have for your finals are a found poem and a film reflection. So a found poem in layman's terms is sometimes called a plagiarized poem, except you're not trying to be sneaky and get away with anything. You will give credit to your sources. But a found poem is when you construct a poem out of lines from other works. So for your assignment, I ask you to have a poem of at least 20 lines. That could be one long poem or it could be a few short poems. It's up to you. It just needs to be a total of at least 20 lines. These lines will come from letters, speeches, essays, poems, or stories we've read this semester. So you will pull out phrases or sentences or lines from poems to create your new poem or poems. You do not need to cite anything in MLA style. What I ask is that at the end of your poem or poems, you just give me a list of the works that you used to create your found poem. So I sometimes encourage students to do this first in their, because I give this assignment in almost all of my classes. I encourage you to do this kind of early on as you're working on your finals, because then it kind of jogs your memory of everything you've read and engaged with this semester, because you'll go back to your text list and try to figure out, oh yeah, I liked that poem or I liked that story, I want to grab something from it. So you're also jogging your memory of all of the works that you've read this semester. So have fun with this. Have fun with this found poem. I always love reading these at the end of the semester. The other kind of less formal assignment for your finals assignments is the film reflection assignment. So I have pulled a selection of films that are streaming on Swank. So when I go back to the module, I'll show you there are links for all of them. All of these films are based on American literature. So you can see novel, play, novel. So all of these critically acclaimed films are based on a piece of literature that is in this kind of recent era. So the oldest piece of literature is 1961. But yeah, that is why I chose these films. I encourage you to read synopses of the films before choosing which one you want to watch. You know, you have some stark dramas, you have science fiction here with Blade Runner. If Beale Street Could Talk is a very recent film. So look through the synopses and kind of choose one that you think you might enjoy or might be challenged by. And then I'll ask you to take notes as you watch, and then write a 1 to 2 page reflection using the handouts that I've given you to help guide you. So do try to use the language of literary and film analysis. Think about the film as a text, give specific examples from the film, but if this is a more informal assignment. This isn't a full-fledged essay and you don't need a works cited page. So make connections, look at the film and take notes with an analytical eye, and turn in a reflection. You will see here, I've linked to all of the films. So if you open the link, I have logged in before to Swank, so it takes me, well, okay, never mind. Something funky is happening, but it should take you to either this page, or if you need to log in, you'll log in using your library credentials. So your name and your student ID with EC at the end of it. So just kind of follow the prompts. I also linked to more streaming films. So the Swank site, these films are available until May 31st. So if there are any other films that, I'm not doing a very good job here. Okay, no, this is telling me I'm not logged in. Anyway, go ahead and log into that and you'll see 30 or 40 films that we've chosen for, I chose for this class, for my film class, a couple of other instructors have chosen films. So they're all available streaming until May 31st, if you'd like to watch any of them. And I just gave a couple of handouts about just basic film viewing guide. As we've gone throughout the semester, especially the weekly topics that we go over that are, you know, we read our kind of classic American literature from our textbook, but I've also pulled in throughout the semester history of comics, various movements in journalism and film, just so you see how all of these things are connected. And I like ending with some form of a film reflection so you realize that, oh, these things I've been doing all semester, this way I've been analyzing texts, I can do that when I watch movies too, and it makes the experience a lot more meaningful. So that is why I ask you to do this. And then the grand finale, your final essay. This is the final exam in this course, as you can tell by the points value. There's quite a bit of flexibility in this essay. So there are 3 prompts that you can choose from. They are not incredibly strict or limiting prompts. There's still a lot of flexibility no matter which path you choose. So I'm going to just kind of basically go over these. The first prompt would be, if you're interested in something kind of current, a current socio-political issue that you have found reflected in one or more of our texts that we've read this semester, create an argument, and it's kind of an argument based on literature and brief research. So all of these, I'm asking for just at least 3 sources on your works cited page, including primary sources from your text list. So all of these essays, no matter which you choose, which prompt you choose, you will need to engage with a poem or story or a piece of nonfiction from your textbook. But you can also weave in other sources as well. So this first one, kind of a social political argument based on literature and research. This is more something kind of newsworthy, current, that you're making a connection and building upon and arguing for, and pulling in literature and some research. The second prompt is a pretty classic literary analysis. So you are looking for symbolism, common themes, some kind of character analysis, or looking at the point of view of 2 stories. So there's going to be an element of comparison that you're looking at primary sources, at least 2 pieces of literature, And then looking at some commonality, whether it, again, is symbolism, theme, etc. So when you think of just really classic literary analysis, this is that prompt. If you've taken Comp 2 and at the end of the semester, you did a comparative literary analysis, this is very much related to that assignment. So again, the second prompt is your classic literary analysis. The third prompt is one, I wanted to include this. We didn't kind of hit heavy critical literary theory, but I did want to give you this option, and I will show you where there are resources up online. So this is, again, kind of related to the literary analysis, but you're choosing one critical literary theory as a lens to look at a text through. So, and again, I'll pull back to the handout for this, but critical race theory, Marxist criticism, feminist criticism, or psychoanalytical criticism. So in kind of common terms, if you are interested in looking at a text through the lens of race or class or gender or psychoanalysis, you might be interested in this prompt. So again, I'll pull that up right now. So for all of these, I want to remind you that at the top of the page, you have the course details and resources, and under writing resources, you have some really solid, helpful handouts that I hope you refer to. And so whether it's literary analysis, if you're choosing that kind of classic literary analysis, just some basic definitions. Oh, popped up. And this Intro to Critical Literary Theory, again, just kind of goes more in depth. And this is upper level English major stuff, but I utilize this again in most of my classes because I think it can be really useful to practice looking at a text through a lens. And so that is your third option. So no matter which option you choose, and these don't exist in a vacuum. So if you choose this first prompt, that doesn't mean that you're not allowed to talk about symbolism by any stretch of the imagination. These don't exist in a vacuum, but you will want to kind of basically choose a path that you're planning to go down. All of these, you'll want to have a really solid claim, an argument, give meaning to the texts, and you can easily weave in film or music in any approach. Be creative. Our weekly topics could be inspiration and sources, but again, you'll still also need the primary sources from your textbook. You'll have at least 4 direct quotes with MLA style and text citation, an MLA style works cited page. And then in this assignment, I also have some really helpful checklists. So this is one that I put together in terms of things that I see the most often needing help in student essays. And then this is a basic checklist for revising literary analysis as well. So if you can go through this and be like, yep, I got all of these things, I'm on it, you're looking at probably a really good essay. You will notice that I have a place that you can turn in a first draft if you'd like. You would need to do that by May 5th, so Wednesday. I will look at it, give comments. I'll have a really quick turnaround time for that. And then you could revise and improve upon for your final essay. If you don't get a draft done in time, and I say first draft, but it can be a pretty rough draft, and that's fine. If you don't get a draft finished in time, but you still want me to look at anything, I'm happy to do so. It just won't be kind of as formal in terms of the turnaround time with deep edits. But please, up until May 12th, ask me anything that you need. Okay, I think that's all we need to focus on from the course. Hopefully everything is coming together and everything makes sense. Check the gradebook. At this point, that final essay and these final assignments need to be your priority. But if you look back at the grade book and realize that you missed something, or there's a weekly reflection that you forgot or just didn't do, I do accept late work. So please do feel free to get caught up. But again, your priority, your creative and intellectual energy should be going toward that final essay and these final assignments. So finish strong, but also if you have any loose ends you need to tie up, just let me know, turn things in, that's okay too. Let me know if you need anything. I'm here, I'm on campus. So if you ever visit the Union campus and want to meet in person, just let me know. I'm gonna set up, as soon as I post this, I'm gonna set up a couple of Zoom kind of open meetings if you want to drop in, but just let me know if you need anything. But please, at this point, make sure you've gone over everything. Everything makes sense for these final essay and final reflection assignments. This is all doable. It's not if you wait until May 11th at midnight, but if you kind of get a handle on everything now, you've got this. So do your best and let me know if you need anything. Have a great week. Best of luck in all of your classes and finals.